Hello, welcome to the first Math Notes video of the year. This is Mr. Jewell, and today we're going to be talking about absolute value, and this is section 1.1.1 of your book. Before we got started on the content, I wanted to give you a little instruction here on these videos and how to take these notes. First off, when you're taking notes, you don't have to write down every word that's on the screen. If you want to, you can, but it's usually better to watch the video once, then pause it, and then write down your summaries and include all of the figures. That's one of the things that we'll be looking for when we grade this. Okay. You want to write down and sketch any extra examples that are given, as well as practice problems. And I'm going to do my best to keep this video and the future videos under 10 minutes so that you don't take up your whole time with this or your whole night. But you should be prepared to talk about it and share your responses with the class the next day. Alright, so let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about absolute value. Alright, so absolute value is one of those terms that pops up in math periodically. A lot of times when you think absolute value, you think about this little symbol down here, the two vertical bars with a number between it. And a lot of you think, oh, absolute value just makes a number positive, and you don't really think about it too much more than that. But let's go into it a little bit here. So absolute value is the numeric value of a number without its sign. In other words, that's the positive number. All right, the symbol for absolute value is two vertical bars, and it can also be thought of to represent the distance on the number line from 0. So if you're at -3, you're 3 spaces from 0, the same as if you were at +3, you'd be 3 spaces from 0. So the absolute value of -3 would be 3, and the absolute value of +3 would also be 3. Since a distance is always positive, the absolute value is always either a positive value or 0. The absolute value of a number is never negative, so if you ever get into a situation where you see an absolute value equal to a negative, you're going to have a no solution problem there, because the absolute value is always positive, never negative. So we've sort of talked about this 3 example here. -3 is a distance of 3 units from 0, so the absolute value of -3 is 3, and the absolute value of +3 would also be 3. And here we have another example with 5. The distance from +5 to 0 is 5 units, and if we were to do the distance from -5 to 0, that would also be 5 units. So in this case, the absolute value of 5 is 5, and the absolute value of -5 would also be 5. So just a little refresher on absolute value to get you started on the year. It's as though, first homework assignment of the year, so keeping it pretty simple for you. But there's some things that are coming up later in the year we want you to think about. So I've got 4 questions here for you to think about when we're solving absolute value equations. The first one is you should be able to think about that and figure it out. What 2 values can x equal if the absolute value of x is +2? Why can it be those 2 values? And then we want to extend that thinking as you walk through problems 2, 3, and 4. So see what you can come up with and be ready to talk about it in class tomorrow.